I built a software with 100% AI that generates more than $70,000 per month in revenue. But I'm not a coder and I don't have any background in coding. And before this year, I had never coded any piece of software in my life. Now, a quick disclaimer, this is not my business. This is a side project that I did for a local business here in my hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. But if you'll stick with me until the end of this video, I will share with you how doing this project unlocked more than $30,000 of revenue for me directly, and how I built new skills that will help me make more money with new projects. First, let's dive right in. Let me show you exactly what I built. So what was this software that I actually built? So you're looking at it right here. This is a booking software for a pickleball facility called Courts and Commons. Now, they're a local pickleball facility here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they recently opened this year. And I'm going to kind of take you through how I got this project, how it worked, and what has happened since then. But I started working on this project in probably February of 2025 in this year. So let's just run through it real quick. I want to show you a few of the features of this software that I built, and I'll tell you exactly the stack that I use of different softwares to build it, how I used AI, what I've learned, and some other things along the way. So this is software. So right here on the front page, it's a booking software. So you can book a pickleball court or you can book a dart bay. So you simply select a date. So we can select later on this week, select a duration. So let's say 2 hours, and it will automatically show you the courts that are available and the time slots that are available for that date and time. So we can change this to like 1.5. You'll see, then it will show us those times and all that there. So once we select a time slot, so select that, we can add it to the cart. Now we can add an additional time slot to the cart. We can add a dart bay reservation to the cart. We can kind of add this up, and then at the bottom, it tells us that total price. We enter our information. We can continue to payment. This uses Stripe on the back end, so we integrated Stripe. We also integrated text message notifications as well as email notifications in here. So this is like the front kind of page that we built. So anybody can access this from the public. And we also built a member login area. So when you log in as a member, you have specific features for members only. So they have a membership, and they wanted to allow their members to book 2-hour time reservations for free for pickleball courts. So we built in that here. So you can select the time, you can book a free reservation as a member. You also have access to discounted court pricing. So if we go back to that front page and we're logged in, it actually shows us discounted rates on pickleball court reservations as well as dart bay reservations. So when you're a member, you get discounted rates. You can see $30 here as opposed to it was $37.50 before. So that's all auto built in. You also have a My Reservations page. So you can see anything that you are signed up for. Two more things I want to show you. First of all, the events page. We built this a pretty elaborate events page with some pretty detailed filtering where people can filter down by tournaments or leagues, ladders, foodie events in there. And then they can go to any one of these events. So if we go to like a tournament right here, we hit see details where we can actually register for an event. We can pay for an event right here on the events page. And this is for people who aren't logged in or are logged in. That'll make more sense in a minute when I kind of tell you why I built this for them. And the last thing I want to show you is the admin dashboard. So we built out this full admin dashboard where their staff can manage their reservations. So when somebody books a court on that front page, they can manage all the reservations here. We even have like a live court view so the staff can see all 8 of their courts and kind of who's on the courts, what courts are open, what courts are filled, those kind of things here. That was a really crucial feature for them. Then we also have this events page over here where they can manage upcoming events. They can create new events, block out courts, different things there. So all the events you saw on the events page earlier are all built out here. Now that I've showed you the actual software product I built, let's talk about why I built this and how I built this. So first of all, why did I build this? Well, this new pickleball facility was opening and I wanted to become a member. I love this facility. It's a beautiful facility. And they were coming out with a membership that was pretty affordable. And I play pickleball. So I went and started playing there a little bit. The problem is that this particular business, and if I go over to their main website, now I also built this website for them. So this is like their main website here. They have 4 restaurants along with 8 pickleball courts. They have these 4 restaurant concepts in there. The problem was that they could not find a software to help them manage their pickleball court reservations and a membership So they needed public access, but also a membership. They also have all these restaurants. So they're a really unique kind of business. They really thrive off people coming in and that aren't like, they may not be hardcore pickleball players, right? They just want to get a court. They want to get some food, those kind of things. Many of the softwares out there, or all of the softwares out there for pickleball facilities, only support memberships. They only support like these monthly members, right? So they needed something that supported like the public being able to just book really easily. So they ended up having to shut down their membership completely because they didn't have software to support it. And so I saw this issue as kind of an early adopter of this new facility. And I had a thought, maybe I could build something for them. Now, I had never coded. I don't know how to code. I never went to school for coding, but I had been hearing of this new thing called vibe coding, and I'd been kind of playing with it. Now, I'm not going to go in depth on what vibe coding is in this video, but I want to show it to you and give you a little bit of just an overview very briefly. If you don't know what vibe coding is, there are new softwares. One of them is called bolt.new, which is the one I like to use the most, but there's other ones, Replit, Lovable. You may have heard of some of these. And these softwares, if I just actually pull up the front page of Bolt, these softwares just allow you to prompt AI and tell it what you want to build, and it will build a full software. So I built kind of the first MVP version of this Courts and Commons booking software, this full elaborate software, just from prompting into bolt.new. You can see the actual project here. This is the live project. You can see my conversation over here that I've been having with AI and just allowing AI to build this entire code base. Now, the initial MVP took me somewhere around 60 days before we could actually make it live for this facility. And I want to break down like all the stack and different back-end, front-end softwares I use, whatever. We'll kind of go through that. But essentially, I was able to get to a first working MVP to roll out to this facility, this business, within about 60 days. And so what I did is I went and built this first little version by myself, just something I could show them. This took me probably a week or two. And I went and found the owner at the facility and I said, hey, I heard about your problem. You don't have software for this. Could I show you something that I built and maybe it would work for you, right? And so I built it for free. I met with the owner and the owner was blown away. He was like, how did you build this? He thought it had probably taken me months that I'd been working on this. And I was like, I used AI and coded it in a week or two. And his mind was kind of blown. And so I offered to build this software for free for Courts and Commons. I know that sounds a little bit crazy. For anybody watching out there, you might be like, how do I make money with this? That's kind of what this channel is focused on, helping parents make money with an online business. And you might be thinking, how do you even make money with this? Well, here's the point of why I did this for Courts and Commons. The point is, I wanted to learn the skill of building software. And I knew that these new AI tools could help me do that a lot quicker than even a year ago or multiple years ago. And I don't know how to code, and I wanted to learn how to build software. Number two, I knew that making a connection with this owner of this awesome business would probably unlock more opportunities for me. And number three, I knew that if I learned this skill, that I could then use it in future businesses that I wanted to build and future products I wanted to build for the market. And this would be valuable for me to learn. So for those three reasons is why I did this for free. Now, at the time of recording this video, we're like 6 or 7 months after I initially started this project, and I've done a lot since then. Before I get into the opportunities this has brought me in just building this project, let me quickly run down the stack of different softwares that I am using to actually make this live for the business, because this might be handy for somebody just starting out. If you're thinking like, well, I'd like to build a software for a local business, or I'd like to build a software for myself, but I don't know how to code. Well, let me show you exactly how I did it and the different things that I use to be able to make this possible and make this live. So this is kind of the different tools I use. So the first one I used obviously was bolt.new. Now this is the AI coding software. So what this does is it simply just builds software from your prompts. It builds real live software, which is pretty cool. The second one I used is GitHub. Now you don't need to use GitHub. This is just like basically stores your code, I guess. You don't need to use GitHub, but what I found was as this software got more elaborate, that I needed a way to actually test new features without making them go live to the staff. So they had a staff, they have their staff at the facility using the software all day, and I didn't want to push updates and potentially bugs in the code to the live staff. And so I needed a way to be able to test new features on the back end without affecting the people using it, and then make those features go live when I was ready. So I actually use GitHub to store all of the code. So if we go back to the bolt.new, you'll see over here is all the code that we have for this software. Now, I needed a way to store the code, which is on GitHub. And then what I could do is I could create another branch, which has just like a duplicate of the code where I could test things, right? So I could duplicate the code in GitHub, then I could have this little test branch where I just tested new features. And that might be a little bit confusing if you're not a coder, but that's why I ended up using that. This was later on, a few months into the project. I also used Stripe for payments, of course. So they needed a way to take payments, right? They wanted people to be able to book courts, book dart bays, become member on their website, on the booking website. So I integrated Stripe on the back end to be able to take payments. Then I had them attach their bank account to it so they could get paid when people pay through their website. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, this software helped them get to, right now, currently, over $70,000 a month just from this software that we built. So they have a ton of revenue outside of that, but this software helped them scale up to somewhere around that level, maybe more, that they're making in their business, just from this booking software. It doesn't count food and all the other different things that they do, but Stripe was how we were able to do that. Next, we used Netlify to host the website or make the website live. So Netlify is like a hosting platform, and in bolt.new, when you create something, you'll see a preview over here. So here's the preview, and you can actually just hit this publish button, and it will send all your code, and it will deploy it over to Netlify. I know it's a little bit confusing, but Netlify basically just gives you like a real live website where people can access your software. So that's essentially what it does. So we use Netlify to host the website. We also used Resend to send transactional emails. So what Resend does is it just sends emails. So when people book a court, it sends them an email and says, hey, your court reservation's coming up, and here's the details, right? So we had to use Resend to send that. And then lastly, we used Twilio to send transactional SMS. So just to tell people, hey, you've got a court reservation coming up, we use Twilio on the back end. And so I was able to use AI in bolt.new to connect to all of these different softwares to be able to do the different things that we needed their software to do. One last thing I want to mention before we move on is that in the beginning, in the really early stages, this was a really simple project. And as I got deeper into it, it became more complex and more complex. And so I had to learn a lot of new things. And also, as it became more complex, bolt.new was not really able to handle what I needed it to do just from prompting it. So I'd put in a prompt, and bolt.new couldn't do what I was asking it to do because the code was way too long. And this is an issue I think a lot of people are running into, and I'm running into it on a lot of different projects, where the project just becomes too big and you can't directly prompt the AI to create new features or fix things, debug things. So that can be really frustrating. So my current solution for that, and how I kind of got through that at a lot of different phases in this journey of building the software, was what I would do is take the code, copy it from bolt.new or from GitHub, and I would paste it into ChatGPT, and I would ask ChatGPT to help me fix the code or add new features. And then I would take that code, paste it back into Bolt, and test it there. And so what I was having to do is just take small pieces of the code base, paste them into ChatGPT, debug there, ask to build new features, and really take it micro steps. That's a huge tip I would give you, is work on one small feature at a time. Let me try to give you an example of that. So if we were to log in and go to the admin dashboard over here on the Courts and Commons, and I go over to the events section and the create event, if I was working on this page right here, so I'm trying to build out how, event creation in this software. Well, I wouldn't start by trying to build all of this. I would start with the kind of very, very basic function of what I need. So, I might say we need to build a new create event page. Here's some of the basic features, right? And I wouldn't get too crazy with like recurring events and all that kind of stuff. Try to keep it as simple as possible. And then once I have a base page, even if it's not working, then I'm taking it one small bug at a time. So I need this box to be bigger, or this button doesn't work, or I need to change the color of a button, right? We're not taking it in like all the things you need to fix. So that's a huge tip I would give you, is just to keep it very, very micro on things that you need to fix or add, as small as you can, whether you're working directly with like a bolt.new or a Lovable or Replit, or you're working in ChatGPT. Next, let's talk about some of the opportunities that this has opened up for me and how this has directly resulted in over $30,000 in direct revenue for me, a bunch of additional perks, and then some future projects and different things that it's helping me with. So first of all, it has opened up, doing this project for free and building this for this business, it's opened up numerous opportunities for me to help out Courts and Commons directly in different capacities. One of those things is I've been able to run the marketing for Courts and Commons as kind of a client. One of my strengths and passions is marketing. It's what I'm really good at, like online digital marketing. And so I've been able to make some money there from directly working with Courts and Commons to run some of their advertising, email marketing, and different things there. Additionally, because of the skills I have learned, and now that I'm able to kind of build software, I've been able to get a few additional clients and build software for other businesses. Because of the software I built for Courts and Commons, I can now show that as a project in my portfolio, and I've been able to land additional clients, which has resulted in many thousands of dollars, and I've been able to build software for a few other businesses, which has been a really fun and exciting journey because it's something I've always wanted to do. Lastly, I now have learned through this project how to build software for myself and businesses that I'm building. So here on this channel, we're helping parents build online businesses that generate real income for them and their families, and do it in just 10 to 15 hours per week. And I've built a really cool tool called the Freedom Plan Generator. It's a tiny little software tool that I built to help parents generate a personalized plan to be able to figure out what to sell it, how to package it up, and how to get eyeballs on it. And if you want to try that out and see something I've built and experience it for yourself, go get your own personalized plan. You can go over to plan.builtbyparents.com. You can go through just a quick quiz, ask you a few questions, takes about 3 minutes, and it will generate a full personalized business plan for you to actually launch an online business, help you with what to sell, tell you how to package it, and give you some tips and strategies to actually get eyeballs on it. So it's a really cool tool. And without doing this project I've shown you in this video, I wouldn't be able to build something like that for my own businesses. In addition to that, I use these AI tools like Bolt to be able to build websites. I've been building my own websites, my own landing pages, and I've even been doing that as well for some clients. So I've been able to build some websites for businesses, which generates an upfront fee. So I can charge $1,000, $2,000, and then I can also charge them a monthly fee if they want me to maintenance it. So this has unlocked multiple revenue streams for me, as well as new skills that I have from my own businesses, and it's been really fun. Lastly, you might be thinking, how can I do something like this? How can I get started with something like this? And the first thing I would say is I would encourage you to go dig in. Don't think about learning all these different skills before you do anything. Learn it through doing. That's the way that I learn, is by doing it. So when I started this project, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea if it would even work. I just said, hey, why don't I build something for you for free? And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Neither one of us are out anything except my time, but let me try. And so I would encourage you to go over to one of these tools like Bolt or like Lovable or Replit. There's many of them out there, and find a problem or a pain in any certain market and try to build maybe start with a small tool that you could build to help solve those problems and pain points, right? And so this was a pain point that I recognized in a local business just by keeping my eyes and ears open and listening. And these kind of problems are everywhere in the business world. So I would start there. I would start by keeping my eyes and ears open, doing some research. If you're wanting to build a business and you already know the market you want to serve, start maybe asking ChatGPT or your LLM of choice. Just start asking them about the pain points and issues in that market, and then see what ideas you could come up with, and then take those ideas over here to something like Bolt and prompt it and see if you could build something to help solve those issues. It's actually a lot simpler than you think, and I think you should just dig into actually building something, and that's the best way to learn. And as I mentioned before, if you're getting started and you want a clear roadmap, a clear plan, go check out my Freedom Plan Generator over at plan.builtbyparents.com. If you got value out of this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down in the comments section. I'll reply to every single one. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one. With that being said, have a great day and go dig in.